welcome back YouTube, welcome to another video. In today's video, it's kind of the first drive part 2, but it's also dyno run. Sorry it took so long. The reason it took so long is that I made a ridiculously stupid mistake, something I know better than to do. But basically what happened, if you watch my other video where I was talking about my DSG oil cooler, on that I talked about I had a problem with my other box where the part had moved on the diff. So I ended up using a box I had, which I classed as my spare box. Well, like an idiot, I didn't even check the code out on it, and it was from a Mark 1 TT, and gear 2 and 3 were a different ratio. So when you got higher in the RPMs, it would just drop out of gear, which is stupid. I know not to do that as well. It was just a complete oversight. I was that busy with everything else, and I kind of had that other box for that long. It just kind of became my spare box. I knew it was from a VR6, so I ended up just putting it in before I realised I had messed up and it didn't have the right ratio. So I've got another box, moved clutch back over, just sorted that all out. Car's feeling good, but obviously I want a tuner to jump on my remote tune. I want him to jump back on. But last time when I went and got it dynoed, and I had the problems with the water to air cooler, the whole reason I ripped it all out and went air to air, the lad was good enough to say, like, I can rent the dyno out. So he said, if you want, instead of trying to do it on the road and then having to bring it back another day to see what it's running, he goes, you might as well just rent the dyno out, let the tuner jump on while it's on the dyno, and then you get it where you want and got the dyno print out all in like one go. It's also a bit of a pain on the road sometimes trying to deal with him and drive it on the road, and with it being winter it gets dark quite early and he always wants to jump on it like late afternoon or whatever. So just kind of it just makes life a little bit easier, so I can jump on the dyno and lad can run the dyno, and they can just sort it out kind of together, so I'll drive away and it's all done. So yeah, it's going to be on the dyno. I'll try and get as good videos as I can, and then we'll see the figures then, and then I'll do a little drive after, see how I feel, see if I think if it feels much different. And it's going to be good to see what power it's running now, because obviously before it made low 500s when it should have been more up towards the 600 mark. Obviously that was due to the IATs were absolutely through the roof because the pump blew its fuse, so the water weren't even circulating through the water to air intercooler. And he weren't running no timing either, because he was constantly telling me the intercooler ain't no good. So it'd be nice just to see what it makes, just by sorting the problem out and then seeing like what he thinks and like elaborating on how much better now the cooler IATs are and everything. But yeah, I don't want to do too much talking. We'll jump back when it's on the dyno and go from there really. So you just seen the dyno video. We had some little minor problems and we need a bit more time. So basically we stopped at 560, made 560 brake, and it made 560 foot-pounds, which is about 760 newton meters, something like that. What I'll do is I'll put up the graph now. As for driving the car, I'm in it now, but the problem is it's fucking dark and wet. So I might actually wait to get a bit of a drive before I do a clip, so you can see it driving properly, because in a minute it's just going to be all over the place. But I thought I'd just jump back on and explain a few bits. So having a little bit of a glitch with the traction control, which is like upsetting the Howdeck, so it was causing little problems on the dyno, because it was a 4-wheel dyno. I could have put it on a 2-wheel dyno, but I had it on a 4-wheel dyno. Now it was the dyno wants to see both axles spin at the same time, and a couple of times it tripped out, and then it'd try and brake the front because obviously the back had stopped spinning. You turn the car off and turn it back on again, it was all right. But I've just been having that little glitch lately, which I think I found the cause of, which I'll say in a minute. And also, when we started going more up in power, when it hit the end of each dyno run, the gearbox would go into limp, which I don't know if it's all related. But again, you turn it off, turn it back on again, it'd be fine, and it's driving sound, so it's not like it's caused a problem. But yeah, I don't really know. But since then, I did have a quick look, and my battery seems to be quite low on the rating and stuff, and I found a few low voltage codes when I coded it with ECDS. So I've ordered a new battery that's coming. I've ordered an AGM one with a bit of a higher capacity, so I've gone for a better battery just because I've got quite a few bits running off it and that. And I think I've knackered the battery because when I've been messing around doing stuff, I've actually flattened the battery a few times, and I think it's just pulled it down too much. I'm not too sure if that's causing my problems, but either way, it tested as a bad battery, so I'm going to change that irrelevant because I need to eradicate that as a fault first. So hopefully that'll get rid of that. But other than that, it seems to be driving sweet, and done a couple of little pulls in it, but it's hard. It was just all over the place with it being wet and that, and it's dark. My eyes ain't very good in the dark, so I'd rather not. But yeah, I just thought I'd jump back on now, but as soon as it's light and dry, I'll do some in-car videos. Right, so we're back. It's been a few days since the last clip. When I finish work or when I get time, it's just been dark, it's been wet. Don't really want to go testing it out, but since then I have put a battery on it, so I've got a new battery. I also had a battery cut off in the boot, which was just a generic unbranded one. I decided while I was pulling the floor up, I decided to put like a Motorsports branded one on it, just because I've had a few people say that they've had problems and there can be a fire risk and stuff. I mean, it probably would have been alright, but for how much they are, I just thought, while I'm lifting the floor, let's put a branded one on, a bit more trusted. And to be fair, when I fitted it, it did feel better quality and stuff, so I'm glad I did it. So yeah, new battery and everything. Since I've done that, I've drove it a couple of times. I've had no traction light on yet, so I think we might be alright in that way. Everything seems so much more constant now. Before, when I do pull sometimes the pull would feel really good, then another time I do it like a few minutes later and the pull didn't feel as good. And I think that was due to the heat getting into the water, and I just didn't have sufficient reservoir and everything to cool the water. And I think, like, you notice a lot on the drag strip, so you do your first run, it feel alright, you come back round, and somehow, like, when it was getting up towards the top, it felt like it was dropping off. I felt like it was in my head, but when you check the times, it was there to see. Just wasn't that great. One thing I did want to cover that I didn't cover in one of the other clips, where I said about what power it ran. So I don't know if you've seen the video before, but if you did, when I went to go get it dynoed, and it had the water to air cooler, and it blew the fuse and everything, and it got hot, so it ran 500 brake then at 1.5 bar, which is crap for a VR6 turbo. Obviously due to the fact that my IATs were sky high, and Nick didn't want to run no timing because of the problem I was having. So when I ripped it all out, now when I've gone back, when we had it on the dyno, so it got it back to 1.5 bar, didn't run no more timing, so it ran it exactly the same as it was before. It made 530, so I made 30 brake horsepower just off the IATs being lower without making any adjustments. He then went in to start doing timing. He adjusted the fuel table and that a little bit, because he said the fuel table seemed to be out for some reason. So I don't know whether it's because your meth weren't working properly, and it is now in the attempt. But anyway, he went in, he did some tweaks, and he did a bit of tweaks on the fueling table, and he ran more timing, and he put on 0.1 more. I think we ended up with 1.6 bar boost, and that's when it made 561. So I basically made 61 brake horsepower just from running more timing and 0.1 of a bar boost. So we can see there, you can see there already there was a problem. And like I said about the consistency, and even just now, when I was cruising or when I'd sit in traffic and stuff, my IATs would start rising, whereas now, I had a look on my phone a minute ago, according to my phone, it's like 5 degrees outside, between 5 and 6 degrees, and right now my screen here is saying, which I'll show you probably in a few minutes, it's saying it's running about 9 degrees. So I'm like 3-4 degrees above ambient temperature, and that's just cruising along, which is pretty good. It'd be higher than that before, but as soon as you're pull as well, the meth it just comes straight down. You see it on the exhaust gas temperatures as well. But yeah, everything's just running so much better. But let's just do some pulls anyway. I'll try and get some outside videos of the car, some drive-bys and stuff, and I'm probably going to do some draggy as well, see if we can get any good draggy times going on. But let's do a little. Yeah, it just feels so strong now. It's so consistent. It's just like every pull kind of feels the same, whereas before you do a pull, it feels good, you back, you then like slow down, drive normal for a few minutes, you do another pull and it just somehow won't feel as strong. I did think it was in my head, but when we was on the drag strip, the numbers showed it. The more I had to keep leaving it for so long. I mean, usually water-head coolers, when people drag racing, they use like massive reservoirs, like an ice bucket, they put ice in it and stuff, whereas I had a tiny little reservoir with no ice and stuff. So once you've done like one run, water ended up getting that hot, you'd have to drive for ages to get constant circulation to cool the water back down. It just wasn't ideal for what I'm using the car for, whereas now it just feels so good. Even now, after I've done that little pull there, I'm at like, it's at 5 degrees now, so we're at ambient temperature, because obviously the meth would have kicked in a little bit, then it cools the system down. I'm at like 5 degrees. So everything's perfect now, and Nick said that when he was tuning it, it's spot on now, so we can actually run some timing and stuff. But yeah, let's not do too much talking. Let me jump into some clips from the outside of the vehicle. I'll try and do some flybys where I can set the camera up, and then we'll probably get into maybe some draggies, and that'll do for now. And then I'm probably going to jump back on with Nick, do a little bit more tweaking, and I'm going to get a reaction video done. There's a few people I've got in mind I want to get in the car, see what they think, see what their reaction is. So yeah, let's jump into some clips now. Stupid there, I just didn't fucking record that, but we just did a 10-second quarter. It's only 10.98, so only just in there, but I'll check it over more in a minute. It didn't do 100 to 200, but I got a 60 to 130, which was 7 seconds. I'm sure we can get that down a little bit. I probably backed up a little bit at the end, so I'm not sure how accurate that is. I reckon I can beat that a little bit, but yeah. What I set out to do ages ago, I know I've only just got into it, but fucking we done a 10 seconds. We done a 10-second run. It only just in there, but I'm still taking it. Right, we're gonna go again. I'm just gonna try and do one more draggy run. Launch ain't working properly. I'm not coming off the line on boost, so seeing as the fact we managed to get to the 10 seconds without coming off the line on boost, I'm happy with that. But we're gonna have to look into it a bit more, because yeah, it's definitely not working right. It's not doing launch control. Right, so I'm back home. Sorry for the poor lighting. It's not very good in here. All my batteries ran out for the GoPro, so I just had to wait to get home so I could finish the video, basically. So I only did 2 attempts on Draggy. One you've seen the clip of. The other one, unfortunately, I didn't record. That was the one where I got the 10-second run. I have got the sheet here. I will put it up. What I'll do is I'll put that up now. So as you can see, I've got a 10.98, which obviously it's only just into the 10 seconds, but I'm still taking it. One of the good things in it was the trap speed was 133.6 miles an hour, which is a solid trap speed. So a couple of little problems I had, and I still managed to get into the 10 seconds. So for a start off, I'm doing the gearbox in manual mode. because sometimes when you have it in sport, it ends up hitting the limiter before it changes to the next gear, so it like bogs a bit. So because it goes through the first few gears so fast, there is a chance I could have been short shifting. So like I said, that was my first attempt, just with practice to get better. One of the biggest ones is my launch control doesn't seem to be working for some reason. I think it's on the gearbox side, because when I do the two-step sitting still, the two-step will work on the engine side. It's just like not initiating the gearbox. But I don't know if that's to do with my ongoing traction / Howdex fault. So I need to sort all that out. But the fact that I've managed to do that with the launch control not working properly, manually shifting on an unprepped road, I managed to 10.98 seconds is good. So it just shows that the only way is up from here. We're just going to get better times. Got drag strip later in the year. I'm hoping to get some more stuff sorted first. So yeah, I mean, I'm well happy that I just got into 10 seconds. I didn't think I'd get into 10 seconds straight away. But first try, we got into 10.98 seconds. And a solid trap speed, so we just need to keep at it. I will go over some other times. So this is where you can see my launch work properly. So my 0 to 60, my best time from my previous setup, I managed to do a 3.2, where my best one this time was a 3.5. So we're already a little bit slower on the 0 to 60, just because of the fact that my launch weren't working properly. And then you've got 60 to 100. That was 7 seconds bang on. Again, I don't know if I backed off towards the end, so we can get a better time on that. 0 to 130 mile an hour was 10.5 seconds. And then what we got, and then obviously the quarter mile we've already gone through. Eighth of a mile was 7.3 at 106. But see, we did a 7.38 at 103 before, so it just shows that that launch wasn't there. Once we get the launch and I come off the line on the boost, that's gonna shave a massive amount off anyway. But yeah, we're going in the right direction. More videos and everything coming soon, and hopefully the videos from now on will be more. I'm going to try and get some better cameras and stuff like that, so you can get more of the outside, because it's always just me rambling all the time. So I'm hoping to get more outside videos, more drag strip, everything like that to come soon. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.